Hi, Robin with Oxy-Dry. And this, of course, is the extraction step of this cleaning of this basement carpet. And as I mentioned, there's a younger couple lives in this area of the house. The owner of the house, I guess it's his mother. She lives upstairs, and the younger couple live downstairs. So carpet is 5 years old, and overall it's actually got quite a lot of wear in the traffic areas. It's cleaning up pretty well, but there is a lot of deterioration in the high traffic areas. It is a polyester, and it's showing the typical high wear paths that a polyester does show. It's really matting together and losing its texture in the high traffic areas. But anyway, it is cleaning well, and without any really a problem. Some say that the polyesters are difficult to clean, and I don't really find them difficult to clean. I can't unwear them, of course, but when if you use a rotary, which I obviously am, and you use a fiber pad and good quality cleaning products, they're just really not a problem at all to clean. I don't think. But anyway, we will do our thing here. There's a couple of these are dents in the carpet. Something was sitting there that really kind of massacred the pile there. Like little holes in the carpet. Now, I already cleaned under the two couches and put them back, so I don't have to move them. Feels like we've got a splinter in there or something. So anyway, it seems that I'm not the only one who's got a YouTube channel now that is promoting the use of the rotary, which is fine with me. I've been doing this now promoting this on YouTube now since 2010, so slowly but surely, I guess, people are beginning to agree with what I've been saying, that it's a very viable machine and is a better option, at least for residential. But anyway, I just find that interesting. I don't know if they watch my channel or not. Probably wouldn't say so if they did. But you know, if we all continue to get better at what we do and perfect this set method, soil extraction transfer technology, and whether you choose to do it this method with a rotary or an OP, it's still, in my opinion, a better choice for lots of reasons than steam cleaning, in most cases. Not always. I wouldn't ever want to clean filthy, greasy restaurant carpets with this machine, and I don't. I have done many, many years ago when I first began. I didn't turn away anything. Remember, my wife still reminds me of this once in a while. I remember we cleaned a Pizza Hut. This is when we were living in Penticton. I must have been only in business for a couple of years, and remember it was, of course, it was, get there at 11 o'clock at night, and it really wasn't that much money, really. I don't remember what it was, but at that time I was just glad to get anything. But I remember we were cleaning it, and at the time, the only thing I had for really crampy areas was the Von Schroeder upholstery cleaning machine. And they had the booths, and the only way I can get under the booths is with the Von Schroeder machine. And so my wife was helping me. So she was going under the booth using the Von Schroeder machine, and of course you can't see very well because the light is so bad, and it's really crampy underneath there. And I remember she came out from under one booth, there's a great big pizza crust. She wasn't impressed. She still reminds me of that. But anyway, when you start off, sometimes you got to pay your dues, I guess you could say. And after a while, I guess I did a few restaurants way back then, and then I thought, no, this is not a good idea. This is not the direction I want to go in. This system isn't really well suited for that type of cleaning with the incredible amount of grease and everything. And there's a limit to what you can do, and I think, that's fine. And our focus actually has been primarily high-end residential. And we very quickly went away from even doing things like, we used to in the beginning advertise a flat rate. I used to have it on my brochures. Actually, even had it in the phone book. $15 a room. When we first, 2 or 3 years, I think. And I can assure you, if you're really cheap, the phone will ring and ring. But the funny thing is that way back then, I used to get far more people would complain about the price at $15 a room than they do now at 59 cents per square foot and a minimum of $175. Now that's interesting. But they would they go to clean the living room, dining room, and hall, and the customer would say, "Well, you're charging $15 for the living room and $15 for the dining room. You shouldn't be charging $15 for the hallway. It's much smaller." Okay, a completely different type of clientele, actually. So, and I think about that once in a while, and it's funny how people's minds work. So anyway, I think we went up from there to $20 or $25 a room. We were there for a while, and then I had different rates for different rooms. A hallway was $25, a living room was $50, and dining room was $30 or whatever. And then it just got get more and more, I guess, clumsy and awkward doing it that way. And then finally, I think maybe 15 years ago, perhaps, I made the plunge, and I was scared to do it, to go to a square foot rate. I thought, man, I could end up spending my entire day running around just doing estimates. But it turns out that didn't happen. And one of the reasons it didn't happen, or rarely happens actually, is there's a secret to this, and it's a simple one. And it's when people call up and they ask you price, because they always do that. The first thing we do is we say, okay, well, when we clean, here's what you get, and then we tell them exactly what they're going to get with the cleaning: sanitizing, deodorizing, anti-allergen treatment, and a protector as well. Dry time 30 to 60 minutes, stays clean longer, whatever. And when people understand right off the bat that you're not selling your service on the basis of price, but on the basis of service and performance, you end up with a different category of clientele. It doesn't happen right away, but it does happen. And now, most of the time, when people phone, most of the people, we've been at it now 28 years, so I guess that makes a big difference too, but most of the people who call don't even ask price. Well, okay, maybe that's not quite true, but a lot of people don't even ask price, especially if they're, the repeats don't, and the referrals rarely do. They know that, yeah, we're not going to be the same as the coupon guy anyway. And occasionally we get people call up and they'll say, so-and-so's got a coupon, can you match that price or whatever? And my wife will very politely say, well, if price is your number one priority, then, that's the way you better go, because we don't do it that way. And that's been really, for us, the secret to our success, and has separated us from other carpet cleaners by simply including everything up front and simply giving, our price is very basic and straightforward. Here's the rate per square foot. Here's our minimum charge. Here's what a average living room, dining room, hall works out to. But when Robin gets there, my wife will say he will measure the areas and confirm the price before he begins, and that's what we do, and it works. And we're booked all the time. And it's actually a really simple way to go. But we have purposefully focused on the high-end market. So I don't do much. I do very little. I don't do apartment buildings, move in and move outs, that kind of thing. We don't do that a lot. But the ones that we do are usually, when somebody has sold their $1 or $2 million house, and somebody's moving in, either the people moving out want it cleaned or the people moving in want it cleaned. We do a fair amount of that. But that's not the same as somebody who's renting an apartment is moving into another apartment, or you work for property management companies or landlords who have, half a dozen houses or whatever. That's not our clientele. And I'm not interested in dealing with that kind of clientele, actually. I don't have the ability to usually deal with those jobs that come in at the last minute, because I'm already booked out, usually 2 or 3 weeks anyway. That's just the way it's worked for us. We've focused on what makes, what works for us and what makes us money. And when you, that's pretty dirty. When you know what your market is and what your focus is, then you concentrate on what your strengths are. And that's, I think, one of the great secrets to success is you cannot be everything to all people. And so that's why our focus has been primarily residential. I'm not looking for any carpet to clean. I want the carpets that I want to clean, which is primarily high-end residential. I don't want to just simply be a carpet cleaner. I want to be a carpet cleaner focused on a specific goal. I'm trying to think of that saying that, how's it go? He who is without, how's it go? He who is without vision shall perish, or something like that. But anyway, I guess what I'm trying to say is know what you want and focus on it, and don't let anything deviate you from the main goal that you have. If you want to be a carpet cleaner that gets anything, well then that's nothing wrong with that, but that's it hasn't been what I wanted to do. And one of the reasons is because there's only one of me. And that's why I realized that I needed to focus my attention on what was going to provide me the greatest return for the time I spent doing it. And I also knew that right from the very beginning that I didn't want to go out in the evening and clean carpets. I wanted to come home at the end of the day. I wanted to work 9 to 5, which is almost all I do. And if I work a weekend, that's because I choose to. In the beginning, there's been times when I specifically worked 6 days a week, really laying the groundwork and paying my dues, as it were. There have been times when we've really put in the hours, but I think that having a very clear idea of what you see for your business down the road, and what your vision is an important part of really being successful. You can't do everything. If you're an owner-operator, you can't do it all. So you need to focus on what works. And it also depends on where you're at. I mean, if you're in a market where there is a lot of commercial work available, then it makes more sense to have that commercial work and go after it. But in my case, where I am, there really isn't a lot of commercial as far as, buildings, office buildings and all that kind of thing. I mean, there's more and more being built in my area, quite a lot actually, but if I was in Victoria, where I came from, there's a lot more commercial work, and I would be making a much greater effort. At least I expect I would have in the past to get it, but I would do it a lot different. I would do what I did way back in the beginning, and I would go to the biggest janitorial firm there, and I would contract myself out there, because I did that, and I made pretty darn good money there for a while. There's ways to do it. But the problem, see, with the commercial end of things is that in a lot of cases, that's what you have to do, because a lot of the really decent-sized commercial carpet jobs are part of a janitorial contract, so you have to go to the janitorial firm and offer your services on a percentage basis or whatever, and you can make money doing that. You can, absolutely. Anyway, here's some thoughts for you. So I'm almost done here. We'll take a look at this side B here. But I don't know if you remember what this looked like before, but that whole landing, a little bit of a hallway there, really looked pretty bad, but now it looks wonderful, other than the wear. So anyway, I'll let you go. But wait a minute, let's have a look. Hang on a second, pull this back a bit. Then we'll take a look at the pad. Yeah, needed a clean, didn't it? So that was 2 sides. Okay, I'll let you go. Thanks for watching, and have a good day.